So in this video, we're going to be talking about Azure OpenAI and ChatGPT. Microsoft has just announced that Azure OpenAI now supports the underlying model behind ChatGPT. The name of the ChatGPT model is gpt-35-turbo. I'm going to do a quick walkthrough of the new ChatGPT playground in Azure OpenAI Studio, and then I'll do a more in-depth walkthrough of how everything works with the new API in a follow-up video. So to start out, I'll select ChatGPT Playground Preview. This is the new ChatGPT Playground environment. You'll notice it looks somewhat similar to the old Playground environment, which is now called the GPT-3 Playground. In the right-hand panel, you can see we've already deployed the new GPT-35-turbo model. If you haven't done that already, you'll need to do that first. You can also see that you have a lot of the same options from the old Playground. You can control max response tokens, temperature, top P, but you also have some new options like multi-turn conversations, unique stop sequence, a running token count. The first thing to understand is that the ChatGPT model uses the same API you used before when you made a completion call. What's different is what the data you send to the API looks like. Whereas before you were sending single completions, kind of text in, text out, now you need to be able to send data to the API so they can keep track of a multi-turn conversation. At any time when using the ChatGPT Playground, you can select View Code. This will give you a point-in-time snapshot of a completion call properly formatted as a ChatGPT conversation with the special separator tokens the model is trained to use. Another thing to understand is that the ChatGPT model has no memory of previous questions that you ask. To the model, each question and corresponding completion call is essentially a brand new conversation. The fact that it feels like the model remembers your questions is just that with each new question you ask, behind the scenes we provide a running, specially formatted transcript of the conversation so far. This is also why you see the token count and multi-turn conversation settings in the right-hand corner of the screen. The max size of a completion call to this model is 4096 tokens, so as a conversation goes on longer, we have to send a larger and larger transcript of the conversation along with each new question. Once we start getting near the conversation limit, the way this is typically handled is to start dropping the oldest entries from the conversation. This means the model loses the context those early questions previously provided. The Assistant Setup panel is where you set your system message. The system message gives the model instructions about how it should behave and any context it should reference when generating a response. Below the system message is the Add Few Shot Examples button. Few shot examples allow you to provide conversational examples that are used by the model for in-context learning. You can use the Setup Assistant dropdown to select a few preloaded example system messages to experiment with. This was just a quick introduction to the new Azure OpenAI ChatGPT Studio experience. In a follow-up video, I'll leave the studio behind and take you step by step through creating your own code to build a simple Python web application that is backed by the GPT-3.5 model. If you enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe. It really helps me gauge interest. That's all for now. Thank you.